Hi, Jennifer. I don't think I've ever met you.
Hi, good morning. Hi, everyone. Yes, I'm working with Tina and Kim. So
Okay,
she invited me to come and join these sessions every day.
great. Well, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we're just going to wait a few minutes to see if anybody else joins us. But in the meantime, we like to share any good news that anybody wants to share with the group. What happened yesterday? Any wins? Any good news?
I did not watch the presidential debate.
That is great news.
That's a win.
Neither did I. We watched a debate on the West Wing. Binge watching. Never seen it before. My wife loves it, so we've been binge watching all 7 seasons.
What's the show, Tom?
The West Wing.
Okay.
Mid '90s, early 2000s. So I'd never seen it, and Kara had seen it, and all of a sudden we dug the DVDs out, and we're doing it old school.
Cool.
We had a good walkthrough yesterday too on a duplex over on the east side. So it's nice to see all the inspection stuff was done and done properly. And my buyer's very happy.
Good.
Fiance.
So I met with a buyer. I sold a house in 2013. It was a short sale when he purchased it, and I went over his CMA and I basically netted him 100% of his earnings back. So it's worth more than what he paid for, like double that he paid for it. So essentially it's like 150 to 160.
Wow.
And he only owes like 50 on it because he's been paying over on the principal and everything. So that's a pretty big win. He's pretty excited to find his new home.
Gosh. Yeah, congrats. That's awesome. You said it was a duplex or no? It
was a single family in West Dallas, but he got it as a short sale in 2013 for we offered really cheap and nobody else wanted it. And he took it on because it had like basement issues and all kinds of stuff. And we were able to get it for really cheap. So it was a pretty big win.
West Dallas is crazy right now, pricing wise.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Morning, Scott and Lindy.
Morning.
Hey, Scott.
Morning.
All right, so I don't know if anybody else watched James Shaw on the Pivot Shift Facebook page this morning, but it was kind of like a random last minute thing that he wanted to post about how to avoid burnout. And I know that these calls are all about, focusing on our business and our production and handling objections, but we rarely are talking about how we're taking care of ourselves and how we are taking time out of our schedules to self-care and take a day off, take time for our families. And so, for me, especially with all of the COVID and shutdown, I was working super hard from like March to June and realized in the past year I had never really taken a day off, and I was feeling the burnout coming. So I started to take Sundays off consistently as a Sabbath and a true day of rest, and it's really helped me gain my strength back and really feel like fulfilled and energized throughout the week. So I just wanted to ask you guys, are you taking a look at what that looks like for you, and are you taking time out for yourself? And if so, what are you doing to fill your cup?
I would agree. I think a lot of people benefit from that and actually excel more when you have time off.
Yeah.
I know we just did a team getaway for all of our team, and it kind of rejuvenated and got us back to the roots. So that really helped out.
Yeah, good. Yeah, so I mean, go ahead, Tom.
Oh, my coaches talked to me about this over the years, and in MAPS coaching, they talk about it, and that's why one of the first things you do is fill out your vacation planner. Because they basically say real estate is a marathon, it is not a sprint. And I think a lot of people were doing exactly what Allison said, you know, from that, hey, I'm home, I can work whenever I want to. And then all of a sudden it's now I'm working the entire time. You're just always at it because there is, you know, it's a distraction if anything. And we went away a week ago, the week after Mega Camp, we went away and just got a house, no internet connection, both of us, bad cell service, and read books. And I feel so much better this week than I did, you know, 2 weeks ago before Mega Camp. It's not even funny how much better I feel.
Yeah. Yeah, and on top of, you know, sorry, my brother is peeing. I don't know if you can hear him in the background. Top of everything that's, you know, we're trying to stay on top of our business, but it's like all of the distractions of the, you know, the election and the mask mandate and COVID and everything. I mean, it's just a stressful year. So we, you know, what are you guys doing and on a daily basis too, to make sure that you're staying, you know, you're taking care of yourself? What does that look like?
During our Monday morning meeting and accountability with our team, we place big rocks. It's like the second or third one down after we go through our ahas and our downs for the week. We look at our calendar and we actually place our big rocks, and part of that is family time or getaways, vacation, stuff like that. And then we go into coaching, and then it goes into like where all of our appointments can land, that kind of stuff. So we literally go over every part of it. And like to Tom's, like if you don't schedule the vacations in there, so we're even scheduling it weekly. Like, where's your family time in there? I don't see it because I need to know not to call you or send you a lead. Like, can you put that in there for me? So we just want to make sure we place those big rocks up front weekly.
Yeah.
I thank you, Allison, for bringing this up, especially like the crew that we have here, you know, being so busy and running businesses, you know, you are correct. Right now, it's been very challenging. We're in a different, you know, to really take time to ourselves and take care of ourselves, especially if we're long distance travelers and we're not traveling like that right now. Or even if we are traveling, it's not the same. It's not like when I traveled with my family, we didn't go on the, you know, the dolphin trip. It was like, no, we're staying here. So one of the things that we just implemented thank you to Michelle, in our daily huddle. So some of you may not know this, but the executive leadership team meets from 8:45 to 9 daily, just to do a real quick check-in. Does anybody have some big rocks they need help with? And she said, you know what we need to start doing is we have to start with gratitude. Mm-hmm. So because we just jump right into work, and it was so fun. It's so funny that this is your subject, Allison, because this is the first time we've started with that. And not just good news, it's like gratitude. What are you grateful for? And so that's one of the things that we're doing now. Thank you, Michelle, for that.
Yeah, that's awesome. You know, we get into such work mode, and it's like, start your day with gratitude. Anybody else want to share what they do to energize themselves, to take a day of rest, or, you know, does anybody have a day off besides me? What's your day off? What does that look like?
My day off is either Friday afternoon and Saturday, or
I think
Saturday.
typically Joe and I take Sundays off as well. I think it's important to have at least one day off. But you also like talk about taking care of yourself, and I think keeping your mental health and your physical health is also important. I mean, trying to work out, even if it's like 30 minutes out of the day, taking some time to yourself, whether it's like reading books or meditating. I think that's also very important so you don't get caught up in the work. And, it just keeps you, sharp.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool.
Yeah, like Jeff said, meditate. I know we meditate, we do self-talk, and we read or take in some kind of information. So that's like quiet time, I guess you would say, every day. At least I do. I know most of the team does. That always helps as well, like throughout the day, to take mini breaks to reset.
I think a lot of Joe has 5 kids and he does gratitude with his kids every day.
Oh,
That was pretty cool. Every morning.
I don't know if you guys watched the video that James posted this morning, but I started bawling when he shared that every Saturday morning he goes to Chick-fil-A with his daughter and they just order curbside pickup and they just sit in their car and that's the time where his daughter is just opening up to him and asking him questions like, Daddy, why would this person say this? Or why would this person say this? And then he drops him off at ballet class. And it's like every Saturday morning, that's their routine. And then every week, every Wednesday night, he has a date night with his wife. It's just creating that consistent schedule, time blocking that time as well, just like we time block everything else.
If it's not in your calendar, it doesn't exist, right?
Yeah. Tom, I know that you have a consistent date night, don't you, with your wife?
At least twice a week, yeah. But we also don't have any kids living at home, so it's a little bit easier. But normally it's Friday night and then, believe it or not, Sunday morning. So I always cook breakfast on Sunday morning. It's always pancakes and bacon. And, it's pretty much we do a 8:00 call with her family and scattered across the world. And then we do breakfast. And then whatever happens after that is my day. But, there's a couple things that are just givens that don't get interrupted.
Yeah.
And to Joe's point, doing something, he's mentioning something that's like a miracle morning, where you have a series of workout, meditate. Scott shared affirmations with me about 5 months ago that have been great. You do that first thing in the morning and then shower, get dressed, and you go to work, even if it's 25 feet down the hallway. And at the end of the day, it's like I shut everything down. I go get changed before dinner. It's just like I'm driving home. You have boundaries in your day, and that sharpens that I'm not working, I am working, and it just gives you a little mental break.
Yeah.
I just want to give you quick props, Allison, on that. We scripted, I remember months ago, earlier this spring, around you presenting the idea of taking Sundays off to your clients. And I know it wasn't easy for you, and you set it as a goal. And it's so nice to hear you say how much that's helped you and that you accomplished it. So way to go.
Thank you, Lindy. Yeah, and I have a girlfriend of mine who reaches out to me like every Sunday afternoon. She's like, how's your Sabbath going? And it's just an extra level of accountability that, if I'm spending too much time on my phone or if I'm like doing things that aren't really resting, it just puts me in check and reminds me like, okay, I really have to do something that is very relaxing and will fill me up. So thanks, Lindy.
That's amazing. Awesome.
Did you, and I popped on the call a couple minutes late, but Allison, did you share what your script is that you do set the expectations with your clients around Sunday?
Yeah, I did not share that, but at the end of a listing appointment or a buyer consultation, I have it extremely simple. And I say, by the way, my hours are Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. And I do not work Sundays. And if they say anything about it, I say I have a showing assistant. Well, Matthew Behrens, he's not my showing assistant, but I have a showing partner who will assist you in any showing requests that might come up on that day. And we'll have it taken care of. So it's very
Simple.
simple. I don't have to explain myself. I don't have to be like,
Here's why, and blah, blah, blah. You're like, it's simple. It's so easy. It's so simple, and I love the expectations. I'm gonna guess, because I used to do this too, slightly a little different when I was selling, that do you ever get a text or an email or something after 8 p.m. or on a Sunday where they say like, I know you're not working, or don't feel like you need to reply? Like, have you started training them so that they really know what your hours are? And has that happened yet?
Oh yeah, I got a text last night at like 10:30. Hey, I'm so sorry this is so late, and I still haven't replied to it. It's like it's not even something I have to reply to, honestly. But
Right.
yeah.
And that's good that you're holding to your hours, because we treat people how to teach us, or we teach people how to treat us. So if you would have replied at 10:30, even if you read it, or even this morning at 6 a.m. if you were up, now you weren't holding true to your hours.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So that is so good. I love it. I would say for anybody here, because there's a couple of newer agents, just do it from day one.
Mm-hmm.
You could do it from day one. There's no reason you can't run a very successful business with those hours. And you all have showing assistants, because we're a team here. We have an entire spreadsheet. It doesn't matter. You don't need to name them. It's just like, well, and I have showing assistants if needed.
Yeah.
That's it.
And there's so many limiting beliefs around, oh, you take Sundays off? Don't, what if I have an open house, or what if there isn't the weekend? So many people have asked me, isn't the weekend the busiest time for a realtor? I'm like, so what? The business is still going to be there. So I have to take care of myself. Otherwise my clients aren't going to be taken care of the way that they need to be taken care of.
A very easy script with my clients is I say I work 7 to 7, 5.5 days a week. So, 7 in the morning till 7 at night. After 7 o'clock at night is family time. I turn my phone off. I do not respond to anything until 7 o'clock in the morning. So you're more than welcome to leave me a voicemail, send me an email, text me, but my phone goes off at 7 o'clock unless there's a problem, but most of the time problems don't arise after that point.
And that's so great.
And most people think, well, what if I need you later at night? It's like, well, send me a message. I'll get it in the morning when I get up. Do you work 12 hours a day? No. Okay, well, then why would you expect me to work longer than 12 hours a day?
Mm-hmm.
When you're interviewing your clients a lot of times too, I've lost or chosen not to work with clients that are unreasonable about 24/7 access. Just because they're sitting on the at 1 o'clock in the morning texting me doesn't mean I'm going to be responding.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. And give yourself grace in the sense of, if this works, that there may be a time where something needs to be replied to after those hours. When it's like, oh, I have to, or whatever. When you follow this schedule and this expectation and this commitment, 80% of the time you're winning. Does that make sense? If you follow it, it does not have to be 100%. You're still winning. So sometimes, we need to vary, right? And we don't need to put that in the script, but I'm just saying there may be moments where, you are working at 7:30, but your regular business hours are 7 to 7, 5.5 days a week.
Making exceptions to a rule is way easier than not having any rules and everything's an exception.
So true.
I was going to say, we always had the one caveat that we added to ours was, if we have an offer or something going on that leads us past that time, I'd be more than happy to take your phone call, and I'll be calling you as well. That's the only thing we've ever added to the hours, but we've always done the hours, and we've taught Matthew to do the same when he joined the team.
Mm-hmm.
So
one thing that
Scott.
you could do is, in your contingencies, is write, by 7 p.m. You know,
Yes.
I mean, why does everything go to 11:59? All work expands to the time allowed. If you just say all contingencies end at 7 p.m., Tom, then you know, like inspection, appraisal, everything that comes down to the wire is going to be settled by 7.
We always
Yeah.
have offers or counter offers, whatever the final agreement is on an offer, that if any deadlines fall on weekends or national holidays, that they will roll to the end of the next business day. So we're not chasing amendments at 5 o'clock on a Sunday night or Thanksgiving Day or, New Year's Eve or something like that. And so we've had amendments that, people write stuff and it shows up as a Sunday, deadline, and nope, it automatically rolls based on the contract at the end of Monday.
Yeah. We should set a precedent, like Keller Williams be the first company to take a stand where we all are not allowing 11:59 deadlines, whatever that looks like based on your business, whether your business hours are 11 to 8 or 7 to 7. But we should do that. We should take a stand and be putting in the time frame in there. And like you're saying, the national holidays. We are 500 agents strong in the KW Milwaukee area. We could change the way this industry chooses to work, because that's ridiculous to be sitting at 11 o'clock at night having to worry about a basement inspection and an amendment. Like, what is that?
July 4th, being on a boat in the middle of a lake and somebody yelling at you while you haven't gotten a counter offer back to them or an amendment sign. It's like, dude, it's July 4th. I'm out on a boat. How am I supposed to do this?
Yeah.
I think the other thing is too is not only for realtors but for everybody in the industry. I had a video shot yesterday on a condo, and it was the first time I was working with this videographer, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, okay, I'm gonna work on it tonight, and I promise I'm gonna get it to you tonight or tomorrow morning." And I was like, "Hey, relax, it's okay. Like you don't have, it's not a big deal. Like in the next 48 hours, that's what your website says. Was the expectation. I'm totally fine with it." And he's newer in the industry, and he was just like, "Oh my gosh, like most people are hunting me down. They're really upset. They expect it right away." He's like, "I really appreciate the fact that you said that." And I just went into my whole conversation of we all have to slow down and stop demanding so much out of each other. It's not healthy. It's not good for the industry. It's not respectful. So, and I'm like, that's how I'll always be. And hopefully others will decide to run their businesses like that. I mean, this isn't life threatening. I don't need this video. If I get it today, tomorrow, the next day, it'll be fine. So.
Well, and how about the fairness to the buyers and sellers? So, right, how great would it be, Tom, when you're in competition, then we succumb to what the industry has chosen to do, right? And so what about including in your letter that your buyers and sellers don't think very clearly when they're under time pressure either? So they're not thinking clearly. If it's after 8 p.m., and they have to make a rash decision by 11:59, that's not fair to them either. So it may be an education, even just when you are in competition, if you're putting in those time frames, it's to the advantage of the buyer and seller as well, so that they can clearly make the right decision versus being under pressure.
This is something else, back to the email that Tina sent out at the end of last week about raising the bar mastery. There are very few realtors that seem to have a very big toolkit. In other words, they don't have many tools in their belt or box or whatever. And the one tool that's very easy, but it's deceptive, is 24/7. I'm here for you. Whenever you need me. That doesn't take any skill, and that doesn't take mastery. That's just picking up your phone whenever somebody calls you. But Kim, I'm sure you've seen this, and I know Scott has seen this, when you run across realtors that have been doing that 5, 6, 7 years, and they're burned out hulks. They have no life. They have no, they've got no vim and vigor anymore because they're just burned out. So if we can move the bar on that, that would be amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, and part of my email signature, I have my hours of operation. It's and I try to just have it everywhere. It's in my email, my Facebook page, I have my out of office on Sundays and an auto reply on my text messages. So it's just, yeah, no distraction.
Yeah, I love that. Tina and I talked about that even in our roles. And so thank you for bringing that up as well. We need to be better about putting our auto replies on as well, because otherwise, to be candid, we work 7 days a week as well. So that's good that you brought that up. And so we just talked about that. So that's interesting that you brought that up.
Yeah.
I think the other part is though, is I think, we all like to work. I mean, I think that's why we do it, right? We all like what we do. We like to work. We like our jobs. We're passionate about it. And so sometimes we feel guilty, right? Because other people suffer as a result of our like for work. I mean, it's friends, family, whatever, but that's a struggle for me because I really do like to work. And it doesn't mean I don't like my family either. I just really do like to work too. So trying to figure out what it is and how to make everybody happy then does seem really stressful for me sometimes too.
Mm-hmm.
So, because there's always going to be work, there's never going to be, if right now we're busy with tons of buyers and sellers and listings, and then eventually if the market shifts, then we're going to be really busy with lead genning and doing other strategies. So there's always going to be work. It's just figuring out what is the counterbalance, because we know that there's no balance, there's just the counterbalance.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, it's really easy. It's really easy, or was for me when I hated my jobs, like back in teaching and sales. Like I didn't want to work. It was like the last thing I wanted to do. But you're right, like I love what I do. So then it all kind of blends together. And I would tell people like I'm never really working, but I'm always working. Like it just kind of blends, like work and life, and setting those boundaries, setting those things. So I think that this pandemic has been a reset for some of us, but also made some of us work harder. What I like is I'm not traveling, all the time and doing all these different events and everything. Like it's actually given me some consistency to like chill out a little bit and like reflect. So that was a forced reset for me.
Yeah. Yeah. In a lot of ways, this pandemic has been a blessing. And I don't think we need to break out in rooms at all. I know it's 9:28, but I think this is a very important topic to spend some time on. I wanted to just say, if anybody needs an extra level of accountability, I'd love to be that partner for you. If you want to get into a miracle morning routine, or if you want to be held accountable for a day off, please reach out to me and I can help you stay on track with that.
Thank you, Allison.
I know Alex and I was kind of slacking on these huddle calls. I wasn't being super consistent. So I called him yesterday and I said, can you be my accountability partner from Tuesday? No, what did we say? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday? We both have to be on here Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Otherwise, we're going to owe each other lunch. Whoever doesn't show up, that person has to pay for their lunch within the week.
And it should be a really expensive lunch, not just a lunch. I mean, that's pretty broad. Like,
Is Eddie Martini still open?
Yes, it's got to be a lunch from Eddie Martini's, and it's delivered to you with a bottle of wine. Like, up it.
Yeah.
Set the bar high, right, Kim?
Yeah, well, I was just kind of trying to find a quote here, and I found one that says self-compassion is simply giving the same kindness to ourselves that we would give to others.
That's good.
Yeah. If anyone else has anything to add, feel free. Or if you have a quote you want to share.
That was perfect.
Cool. Well, I'm going to stay on and make some calls. And Jennifer, I don't know if this is your first time on, we just stay on and we make our lead gen calls or whatever you do to lead generate, if that's making note cards or
So a little bit about Jen. She goes by Faye. She is mine and Tina's new virtual assistant. Today is her official day. We haven't formally announced her yet. We will be formally welcoming her so everybody knows next week, Tuesday at our team meeting. So she's just here to listen in and to learn about our culture.
Okay, cool.
She's going to be like on every Zoom in October. So
Yeah.
Awesome. Sorry, Faye.
Welcome. We're
Yes,
so
thank
excited.
you.
I heard a lot about you.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Thank you. It's nice to meet you.
You're the talk of the town for the last 2 weeks.
Really now. Okay. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you. So Faye will be getting on a different Zoom, the one that I sent in the calendar invite. The rest of the people stay here and they hold each other accountable to lead gen.
Bye, guys.
One thing I will say to everything that we talked about is the way that you can actually show up for your family and give your family and your other personal time everything it deserves is by showing up now and doing what you do now during lead gen time. So if you're not doing what you should be doing now, then it just kind of blends to later because you got to make up the calls, you're feeling guilty. But when you actually are true counterbalance, you show up when you're in your time block when you say you are. So like this is the time to make the calls, then you don't have to think about it later. So
Yeah, that's a very true statement because I mean because I looked at my schedule yesterday and I was like, gosh, if I would have just done and stuck to it, my evening would have looked a lot different. So
yeah, it all blends together. And so one line real on the last thing is just like discipline is not like a prisoning. Discipline is freedom. If you're able to have discipline during the day, you actually have freedom because you're living the life the way you choose to live it. And then you can just be guilt-free later on.
oh, look at the baby. Oh, look at the baby.
Oh, okay, forget it. We're just gonna sit here for an hour and not lead gen. We're just gonna look at the baby.
Yep, screw everything we just said, throw it out the window.
Awesome. Well,
All right.
thank you. Whoever has the rights to stop the recording, if you could, I'm gonna send this one out so that people understand